The Navy is fighting an order given by Governor David Ige to shut down Red Hill's fuel storage tanks and remove all the contents that are inside. And right now we're joined by Hawaii U.S. Congressman. This is Kai Kahele. He is live in studio to discuss the current state of Red Hill. Congressman, good morning to you.
Aloha, kakahiaka, Hawaii. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's jump right into what's happening because yesterday you got out of an hours-long meeting. So let's talk about the state of Red Hill currently that you know.
Well, what I currently know, as you've reported yesterday, the Navy informed the public and elected officials like myself that they have isolated the Halawa shaft from the Navy's water system as well. And I would only can presume that they're doing that out of an abundance of caution to ensure that no petroleum contaminated fuel that we know definitively is in the Red Hill shaft flows to the Halawa shaft, following the right call and the conservative, very precautious decision that Ernie Lau, the chief engineer for the Board of Water Supply, made days ago to isolate the Halawa shaft from the Board of Water Supply system. The other thing we found out yesterday was that the Navy has decided to contest the Department of Health's emergency order, and that hearing that should have happened either today or tomorrow has been delayed till next week, Tuesday.
So does that mean, Congressman, that we're already off to a rocky start? Although we're showing some B-roll of the mitigation efforts, the fact that they're contesting, was that anything new? Was that a bit of a surprise for the delegation or for even Governor David Ige?
Well, I mean, the delegation and Governor Ige has been working very, very closely together for at least the last 2 weeks as this situation has unfolded. It's a very dynamic situation. And we all urged the governor and supported the decision to suspend operations at Red Hill, which is what the governor conveyed to the Secretary of the Navy. What we are asking for now is a stand down of the Red Hill fuel farm so that we can, number one, make sure that the people and our precious aquifer and the environment is safe and secure. And that's what we're focused on right now. And in the meanwhile, until we can have a more comprehensive and hopefully independent investigation of what happened at Red Hill and to identify definitively the source of this the petroleum fuel leak into the aquifer, that we cease all operations at Red Hill until a further date.
And you said it right there, Congressman, that it's a complex issue. Since isolating that problem, the next step, like you mentioned, figuring out how to handle the storage in the interim. But I feel like removing the fuel is still very risky. Wouldn't that involve the same pipes that have already leaked? That's
absolutely true. Moving the fuel is risky. You're talking about, well over 100 million gallons of fuel of various different types that would need to be moved in reverse order down to potentially a dozen, if not 2 dozen tankers, these large refueling tankers that would have to carry this fuel and then take that fuel to another location. We don't have a location here on island above ground bulk fuel storage to take the fuel that's at Red Hill right now, and so that poses a risk. There's other second and third unintended consequences in doing that. So I think the Navy needs time to think through that and be able to present that to the Department of Health and the governor and frankly, the people of Hawaii. And I'd be willing to give them a few days to come up with a rock-solid plan.
And I understand, Congressman, that this is a step-by-step process that you guys are really thinking through. But moving forward, are you guys even thinking about plans of retrofitting the tanks at Red Hill, or even the cost of how much this is going to cost the state, or even possibly getting government help from federal agencies?
If you think about the Red Hill fuel tanks, the construction began before the bombing of Pearl Harbor. They started building Red Hill in 1940. They finished building Red Hill in 1943, and Red Hill helped us win the war in the Pacific. The facility remained highly classified until 1995. People that worked there here on Oahu could not even talk about the Red Hill facility. So we really don't know what happened at Red Hill between 1943 and 1995. since 1995, when more people have had an opportunity to learn about Red Hill, has been more oversight and regulatory oversight. We've been talking about doing something at Red Hill for almost 20 years now. And there's been studies done and task force done, and there's an administrative order of consent by the EPA done in 2015 because of a big leak that happened in 2014. And so, all the options that we've talked about, whether it's secondary containment, moving the fuel, building an above ground bulk fuel storage, what the military needs for its strategic national reserve here in the Pacific, all of those things have been talked about in the past. We know it's very expensive. We know it can't happen overnight. We know it has consequences for national security and defense. We know it has consequences for the direct support to civilian authorities in the event that there's a Category 5 hurricane or a tidal wave or some type of catastrophic event. That bulk fuel farm can support our state and local government. So we have to weigh all of that. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a very, very expensive fix. The estimated proposed cost to build 40 above ground fuel tanks to take the underground fuel tanks and move them above ground was estimated at about $10 billion. So this is not going to be a cheap fix. And we're looking for the Navy in their budget to prioritize that, convey that to the delegation, convey it to our appropriators, Senator Schatz and Congressman Case, and see what we can do. But we cannot wait 15, 20, 25 years to address this issue at Red Hill. This is something that has to be done right now and in the near future.
So you absolutely believe that this is the most prudent plan in the short term right now?
If you think about it, here in Hawaii, those 20 Red Hill fuel tanks that are buried underground, about 150 feet below the surface, we don't have that anywhere else in the nation. Nowhere else in the nation do we have as much potential bulk fuel storage underground. It wouldn't have been allowed to have been built today based on water quality and EPA and Department of Health standards. So, what we have here in Hawaii is extremely unique. It also poses grave risk to our aquifer. And so, like we have conveyed to the Secretary of the Navy and the Chief of Naval Operations, they need to treat the Red Hill fuel farm like a nuclear power facility, like a nuclear aircraft carrier. It needs the manpower, the personnel, the resources if you want to operate that. And if you cannot operate it like that, then it shouldn't be there.
And, we only have a few short moments left, but I do want to ask these questions. Do you have the latest update for civilian residents who have been impacted by the tainted water? Do they get town halls with the audience with the Navy, or do they get access to these town halls on base?
I think, whether you are military or not military, you should have the opportunity to go to these town halls and ask questions of the Navy. Right now, the Navy's credibility is probably at an all-time low. And that credibility needs to be restored. You do that by restoring trust, transparency, accountability, and being honest with the people of Hawaii, with the residents of this island, and our military families and their service members who have been deeply, deeply affected by what has happened in the last 2 weeks. So I would encourage anyone to go to those town halls. I encourage the Navy to open up those. Of course, they stream those live on Facebook, and you can watch those. But there are specific numbers if you have issues within the Navy housing community or in the Army housing community, and who you should call. And if you feel like you consumed water, between that period of November 20th on or about through let's say December 1st, December 2nd, that critical time period that we suspect fuel was in the water, then you should definitely call the Navy or the Army Emergency Command Center that they have and document your illness. And if you feel sick, you should go to your doctor.
Congressman, we really appreciate your time this morning. This is, once again, a very complex issue, and we appreciate the work that you are doing to help solve this issue. And you can always watch this interview. It'll be on our website, KITV.com.